States. What about, though, in the United Kingdom? Well, abortion there is legal, but in both England and Wales, there is a rise in abortion prosecutions using a law that dates back to 1861. In the last 18 months, 6 women have been prosecuted and at least 1 woman has been jailed. To tell us a bit more, Annette Young, the host of our show, The 51%, is with me. And Annette, look, access to abortion has been available in the UK since 1967. So why are women being prosecuted now?
Because basically that law can be trumped by this 19th century law which says it's a crime for a woman to procure a miscarriage if she does not meet the conditions required by that 1967 law. Primarily, that 2 doctors have to provide a sign-off, or if they terminate their pregnancy beyond the 10-week limit for at-home medical abortions or the 24-week limit at a vetted healthcare centre. Now, of the 6 prosecutions since 2022, 3 cases have been dropped. 2 are still awaiting trial, according to the British Pregnancy Advisory Service. But there was also another one, a mother of 3, who was sent to prison last June for an illegal abortion and later released on appeal. It shows, these figures that this Pregnancy Advisory Service has been collated, that there's been an unprecedented number of women who are being investigated and prosecuted for breaching that 1967 Act. And the problem is, since that 1967 law gets overruled by the 19th century law, the penalties are really harsh because women can in fact face a sentence of life imprisonment, and that is one of the harshest penalties for having an abortion in Europe.
Shocking indeed, Annette. And look, what is driving the rise in police investigating cases like this?
Well, I think the rise, as far as people who've been covering this story say, is linked to the increased awareness of abortion pills and the fact that people can, in fact, order them online. There's also been an increase in reports by healthcare professionals who are duty-bound to report it to police. Having said that, earlier this year, the UK Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynaecologists have released new guidelines saying that healthcare workers should judge each case by case. But at the same time, there's no doubt that what we're witnessing during the pandemic and also subsequent to the pandemic in UK particularly are the long waiting queues and lines to get access to doctors at NHS clinics and centres as such. In addition, layered across all of that is the fact that anti-abortion groups in the UK are getting quite a bit of money coming across from their colleagues in the US. Notably, according to The Guardian, the Alliance for the Defence of Freedom, or ADF, which is an influential player on the US Christian right and has been part of the global network of evangelical groups that have been a driving force behind the demise of Roe v. Wade and are now turning their attention to other parts of the world.
An important story indeed, Annette. And as this is happening, UK MPs are soon due to have a free vote, as it's known, on a series of proposals that would decriminalise abortion up to 24 weeks. Do we know if that legislation will pass?
The hope is it will, and the concern is that these anti-abortion activists are indeed targeting a number of MPs, calling on their conscience not to vote for it. Having said that, there are now 2 proposals that will be put to the Houses of Parliament in the coming weeks, and my guest this week, I asked her that question. As a result, is this legislation likely to pass? Because the most important thing as far as pro-choice activists are concerned is that abortion should no longer be treated within the criminal justice system. Let's take a listen to what Mara Clark had to say to me earlier this week.
Unfortunately, the rhetoric from the anti-abortion movement is very much misplaced. There's a lot of focus from them about the fact that this passage of this legislation would allow abortion up to birth, which is not what the legislation is about at all. What it's about is the fact that any woman who does her own abortion outside of the NHS at the minute, using pills which are safer than Viagra and safer than paracetamol and on the World Health Organization's list of essential medicines, whether she be at 8 weeks pregnant or 15 weeks pregnant or 20 weeks pregnant, could go to jail. and that's just not okay. That abortion is the only medical procedure that has criminal sanctions against it. Not only criminal sanctions, but that two doctors need to give you permission to have an abortion, which is an incredibly safe medical procedure. But you don't need two doctors to give you permission to, for instance, have brain surgery. So I'm really, really hopeful that the vote will pass. The bill in front of Parliament, there's actually two bills in front of Parliament, one from Diana Johnson and one from Stella Creasy. Neither of them is a perfect legislation, but both of them would be an improvement on what we have now.
Annette Young, thank you very much indeed. And you can catch that full interview of the 51% this Friday. It's at 4:15 in the afternoon Paris time. That's 2:15 GMT. It'll be online, of course, shortly afterwards as well.